Hello, Stitchy friends! How is everybody doing? I hope you're all doing very well. Today is March 26th, 2024, and you have stumbled upon the Runner Stitcher. My name is Andrew, and this is my channel where I talk primarily about my cross-stitch journey, but also a little bit about running as well, and what I've got going on there. So, cut to future editing me. I wanted to just call out that this was my 10th Flosstube. I forgot to mention the number, but this is Flosstube number 10. I feel like that's a pretty big, not big, but a pretty good milestone. So I've recorded 10 videos now. Anyway, that is just a little update. I also just wanted to mention that I have had a bunch of new subscribers recently, which welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for subscribing and joining in on the fun. I am getting close to 3,000 subscribers, and when I reach that mark, I would like to do another giveaway. So stay tuned for that, and please feel free to like, subscribe, do all the things. Hopefully I'll hit 3,000 soon, and I'll be able to give back to some of you. Okay, that's all from editing me. Thank you. Bye. So I hope everybody is doing well. It's now officially spring, so I hope you're enjoying some warmer weather. For us in New York, it got really cold last weekend and the past few days, but it's starting to warm up a little bit, so I have hope that spring is coming, but yeah, we'll see. March can be hit or miss, so we'll see how it goes. But I hope you're all enjoying warmer weather, and the spring flowers are starting to bloom, and everything's good for you. I feel like it's been a long time since I've talked to you. Sometimes when I film, I can't believe how quickly the 2 weeks go, and I'm like, wow, it's already time to talk to them and say hi again. But this time, for some reason, it just feels like it's been forever. I guess because a lot has happened and there's a lot going on, so it just felt like a long time, but I'm so happy to be back and glad to be here today. So a couple of just housekeeping things at the very beginning that we'll go through, and then we'll get into the stitching. I've got to finish, I've got all my whips, I've got to start, lots going on. So buckle up, I've got my coffee. I might be taking some sips here every once in a while. But yeah, hope you enjoy the video. So let's get started. First of all, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Becca from Sambry Stitches. She reached out a while ago and asked me if I would like to be interviewed on her channel, which I was flattered. I remember when I first started watching Flosstube and I discovered her channel, I watched a couple of these interviews, I think with Chris Cross Stitch, maybe with Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery. And I just thought they were really fun. It was a cool way to get to know the Flosstuber outside of their video routine. So when she asked me, I was super, super excited and really happy to do it. So the interview did go live, I think on Sunday. I'll put a link to her channel and to the video down below in the description box. But definitely go check it out if you're interested. It's a little different format than my normal Flosstube, so you kind of get a different feel of things. And yeah, a little bit of behind the scenes and about me. And I just had a great time talking with Becca. So that was really cool. And yeah, just a really good experience. So Becca, thanks again for reaching out and spending some time chatting with me, doing the interview. So it was awesome. The next little bit I wanted to discuss was running. So I had mentioned that I had a half marathon coming up, and that was last Sunday, a week ago Sunday. Yeah, it was the 17th. That was a while ago already. See, time is like weird for me. I don't know. Anyway, so the half marathon was on Sunday the 17th. We had really nice weather. It was a little chilly in the morning, but overall it was great running weather, which I was very happy with. Very lucky. The sun came out a little bit. It's always a fun race because you start in Brooklyn and then you run through Times Square and you finish in Central Park. So just a really good time. I've got my medal here to show you. So this was called the United Airlines NYC Half. This medal, it's a cool blue color, and it's made from recycled metal. So their new thing for this year is to use all recycled material. So that's why they're using this. I think it's a pretty cute medal. Compared to some of the other years, it's not quite as exciting, and compared to the Disney medals, it's definitely not as exciting, but it's cute. So I was happy about that, but that's the medal. I ran the race and I finished in 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 6 seconds. It was a half marathon, so 13.1 miles. And that put me in 7,364th place. So I was the 7,000th runner-ish out of, there were a total of 27,800 people that ran. So 7,000 out of 27,000, I'll take it. Not too bad. But had a really good time, and it was a lot of fun. I had two of my friends who used to live in the city now live in Austin, Texas. They were here visiting, and they were also running the race. So they were staying at our apartment, which kind of cut a little bit into my stitchy time in a good way. Obviously, I was so happy to have them here, and it was just fun to catch up and run the race with them, and we had a really good time. So yeah, the weekend was just really busy. As far as upcoming plans for running, I don't have any races scheduled, I realized, until June. I have a 10K scheduled the beginning of June. Typically, I have another half marathon in there for the Brooklyn half, but unfortunately, I didn't get in the lottery this year, so I'm not running that race. But I've got a little bit of time to kind of figure out what I want my next running step to be before June. I am going to be training for the Chicago Marathon, which is in October. So that training will probably start the very beginning of June as well. And that's when things will kind of hit full force. So from now till then, I'm going to try to just keep on a running program, and keep running. Maybe I'll find a smaller race too in the city to kind of fill in the gap between now and June, but we'll see. So yeah, no big plans for running at the moment. The last piece of housekeeping I wanted to touch base about was a shout out that I had I think it was maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, from Catkin and Lilly. She called out my channel, and it was so sweet in the things that she said. I really appreciate it. I wanted to return the favor because I've been watching her channel for a long time, and she does such beautiful stitch work. Every time she shows her pieces up close, it's just amazing how her stitches look so neat and beautiful. She's stitching on gorgeous pieces like mermaids and dragons. She's got fancy ladies. She's super easy to listen to, and she also has a lot of smaller tutorial videos that are shorter and easy to kind of get through. But that's how I discovered her channel when I first started stitching again, was all these tutorial videos she had, which were very helpful. So Catkin and Lilly, thank you so much for sharing your art. Your channel is great, and thank you so much for the shout out last week. I really appreciate that. Okay, so I think that's all the housekeeping type things to get through in the beginning. So let's jump into stitching. Okay, so the first thing I've got to show you today is a finish. I showed you my progress last time, and this was for my March Whip Go call. This was the last one I had to complete, and it was the Haunted Holiday House from Lola Crow from her Creepy Christmas Ornament Sal that she did last fall. So I have now completed this, and I'll show it to you here. How cute is this little house? I really just love it. So I added 325 stitches this time, and you might have seen this on my Instagram because I finished this, I think, the day after or the day I filmed last time. I didn't realize how little stitches I had left to do, but I finished it pretty quickly. So yeah, this is done. This is the first one I did a while ago, back in the fall. Those were the Creepy Christmas Carolers, and now I've got the Haunted Holiday House. So these are the two. I'm going to do probably at least one more. It's on my Whip Go call for another one, so maybe I'll do a fourth one. I'm not sure if I'll do all 6 or not, but I wanted to just point out these bats here. They are so cute. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see them, but the back stitching on these bats looks so good. So when you just add the regular stitches, it's kind of like, oh, they kind of look like a bat. And then you add the back stitching that she charted, and they look so cute. They're so good. So the only changes I made to this were I used beads again here from a leftover Millhill kit, just like I did on this one. Instead of, these were supposed to be just white X's, white stitches. So I put beads there instead, and then the only other thing is I used the glowy, sulky, glow-in-the-dark thread for the outline around the ghost here and the outline around the cat here. So if you go check out my Instagram, I do have a picture that shows both of these kind of as the before and then the glow-in-the-dark version. the carolers look really cool, and these do too. I really like the outline and the glow in the dark, so that was really fun. But I had a really good time stitching this. The detail she puts into these pieces, they're tiny, but they have so much detail, and I just love it. So yeah, that's my little haunted holiday house. Happy to have that completed for my WIPGO. So March WIPGO is completed now, and I can move on to April. Can you believe it's going to be April already? We'll get to this later in plans, but I saw that the WIPGO numbers were called for April, and I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, how are we already in the 4th month? How are we already in April? But beyond me. So that is my finish. And I think that is my... I'll have to go back and double check. I think that might be my 4th finish for the year so far. Maybe it's my 3rd. I'll have to double check. But making some finishes. I'll get the statistics later on. So let's jump into my whips. So the first whip I'm going to show you is my Winston pattern, the black Chihuahua pattern from PuntAGoPetitePattern on Etsy. I'll put a picture here of what the final image looks like. And for this one, I've added in 905 stitches, which puts me at 61.1%. So I said last time my goal is to add 20% between each video. So far I'm keeping up with that. I had 20% the first video, then 40, now 60. So hopefully next time you see it, it'll be at 80%. But I'm stitching this 2/1 on a 20 count fabric from Stash. The fabric is Cali, is the type of fabric, I guess. My first time stitching on that. It's very soft and different, but in a good way. So here you've seen where it was last time. Here's where he is now. He's looking so good. So I filled in a lot of the black, the 310 here in this part of his body, and a little bit of the color down here in his legs. I am missing about 8 colors for this, so I think I'll be able to finish stitching the black before I hit 80%. So that'll probably be what I work on next time, and then I'm gonna place an order with 123 Stitch to get the missing colors that I have. So there's a lot of like fill-in colors here and around his eyes, and then definitely down here in his legs that I just don't have yet, so I'll have to get that going. But again, I'm making this for my old roommate that I used to live with, who fell in love with Winston just like I did, and I thought it'd be cool to stitch this for him. So it's going to be a gift, but I'm really enjoying stitching it, and I'm having a lot of fun. Got my little Pluto needle minder there too. So yeah, that is Black Chihuahua or Winston. Okay, my next one is another piece that I've showed you before, but this is the Mermaids of the Season Sal from Bella Filipina. The sal is complete, so everything's out. I'm stitching this 2/2 on 28 count Lugana, Singing in the Rain by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And this time I added 587 stitches. You've seen where I was last time, and here I am now. So as you can see, I basically finished the tail. So I think the only spots I have left in her tail are beads, which I'm going to save till the very end of this mermaid. I'm going to do the beads with each mermaid as I do it, but I'm going to save them for the very end. So if you can see, I added the Krynic in here, so it's a little shiny. I don't know if that's coming across or not, but there's Krynic in through here and up through here to give her tail a little bit of shine, which was really cool. I had fun doing that. I added some of these little colors down here underneath, and then I also got started in her skin. So for her skin, I am stitching this 2/1 half cross. So I'd mentioned I was going to try this last time because these mermaids have a lot of skin, and I wasn't sure I wanted to do 1/1 on all the mermaids. There's 4 of them, so I decided to go with what the Boy Stitcher had recommended on Instagram, and that was to do 2/1 half cross. So far, I'm liking how it looks. I need to keep going, and obviously it'll look different once I get the back stitching in to show the details, but so far, I think it's turning out pretty good. I think I like it. I don't know that I'll do it on many pieces, but I think it's a good experiment to try, and I think it'll look good on this one once it's all done. So Again, I've got my seashell needle minder here that I made in Florida. And yeah, my goal with this piece is to finish the mermaid in the season that we're in. So the clock has now started because we're in spring. This is the spring mermaid. So I've got the rest of her skin to do here, and then her face and her hair, and then all the beading to go. So there's still some work to do, but I think I'm like close to being halfway done with this mermaid, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty cool. I also am going to, so I think this is an 8x8 Q-snap. I'm going to order an 11x11 so that I can switch out these side pieces for an 11-inch one. And then I think I'll be able to fit the entire mermaid on one without moving my Q-snap, which will be great for beading purposes. So then I'll be able to have the mermaid all in one section and just bead her from top down at the very end. So I'm going to do that and get that kind of switched out before I keep working on her, and then I'll be able to just kind of keep going north. But I'm really enjoying this one. I had a lot of fun stitching the Krynic, which I know probably is not a welcome opinion, but I love the shine. I don't know if it's coming through really clearly, but in person, it just adds such a nice sparkle to the tail and really gives it some dimension. So I was really, really happy to add that this time. So that is Mermaids of the Season, Sal. We'll keep you posted. Okay, my next piece is my daily weekday thread. So what I'm doing with this is the Pixel Dragon Adventure Sal from FlossyFox shop, and I am stitching this during the weekdays. The first stitch of the day, I'm taking one thread and just stitching it on the piece and seeing how far I get with that one thread, and then calling it quits for the day. So making a little bit of progress, but daily, which is fun. So since the last time you've seen me, I have added 761 stitches, and I'll go ahead and show you where I am. So last time I was working on this dragon here, I fully completed the outline. So that dragon is fully complete. I think I finished this little strawberry here, and then up here, this motif, this ear of corn, which I have completed, super cute, but it's charted as like a piece of meat on a bone, but she also gave the option to switch that out and do the corn on the cob. I wasn't going to switch it out, but then I thought, you know what, the corn on the cob is actually pretty cute. So maybe I do want that one. She suggested you can use that if your dragons are vegetarian, which I thought was cute. So I went with the corn on the cob. So that motif is also done. And then I went down here and started this next dragon. And you can kind of see the outline there. His wing will be up here. And he's green, so he'll have a lot more green stitches in there, but that's what I'll be working on next. And then I think once that dragon is complete, there's like two more little motifs over here. And then I think that will be complete parts 1, 2, and 3. We're almost at the last release. I think there's just one more release to go, and that'll probably come on April 3rd. So then the whole chart will be out, which will be great because then I can put it all into my markup ArcsP and just work off the rest of the chart as opposed to piece by piece. But yeah, I think 3 parts will be completed soon. So hopefully the next time you see this dragon will be mostly completed or completed. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. Again, I'm stitching this with Samantha, the Higa Stitcher, and Erica from Fibers and Floss Canada. They both decided to do the Year of the Dragon Sal for the Lunar New Year, Year of the Dragon. And I stitched on this on that day, which was fun, and then I've been picking it up since. My goal is to have this piece completed in the Year of the Dragon. So I think if I keep making the progress that I am currently, I'll be well on my way to seeing this as a finish. So yeah, super cute. I'm stitching this 1/1 on 28 count Lugana. The fabric is a printed fabric, and it's called Green Apple. But I'm really enjoying this one. It's fun to pick it up each day and get a little bit of progress, but not get too bogged down by it, so I really enjoy that. Okay, my next whip is what you saw last time as a new start. This is Saga from Long Dog Samplers. I started this on Leap Day, and my goal is to finish it by the next leap day in 2028. So that means that approximately I have to put in 550 stitches per week. So I'm designating Thursdays to be my Saga day, and we'll see if I can get that done each week. This time on Thursday I put in 646 stitches, so I'm at 2.7% on this piece. Now there were 2 Thursdays since I last saw you, so technically I didn't have time that one Thursday. I was super busy with the race and people coming into town. I just didn't get to stitch on it. So technically I'm a little behind, but because I stitched so much in the first 2 weeks, I'm still actually ahead of the game because I had a lot of the border done. So this time I sort of got into this arch here and finished the actual arch, and then I was in the forest. So I was doing these 4 trees and the bottom pattern under here, which was really fun. It was kind of a nice break to get out of what I was doing that was repetitive the whole time, and really cool to actually get into one of the motifs here that are under the first arch I'm doing. So not sure where I'll head next time. There are 2 hens or roosters or chickens down here. I think that's kind of where I want to head next, and I'll share this on my next one, but the story with them is really cute, and yeah, a little bit of personal meaning to it as well. So I think I'm going to stitch that section next and get those 2 little hens in there. And then from there, I don't know where I'll go. The possibilities are endless because this is a huge chart, but it was really fun. And I was happy to see that I got 646 stitches in just on that one day. I think because I don't have to change my thread color, it moves pretty quickly, and the pattern, at least in what I was stitching this time, had a nice flow to it. So if I can do that each Thursday and just designate one day a week to it, I think I'll be able to finish it in 4 years. And maybe sometimes I'll pick it up at different times and add more stitches just to get a little bit ahead of the game in case there is a Thursday I can't stitch. But it's nice to know that I think that plan will work, he says now, until it doesn't. But that is my progress on Saga. So, really cool. Okay, then my next piece is Lily of the Woods by Mirabilia. I'm stitching this with the hashtag #FirstMirasal with my friend Yoshi. And this week I've added 818 stitches, so I'm at a total of 38% completed. Now, I showed you last time that I had put this on a scroll frame and that I was looking for a stand to get. So you can see here in the background, right here, I did get a Lowry stand, and I'm still kind of getting used to it. I'm having some issues with it wobbling, so I won't go too much into it, but you can see it just kind of wobbles. It's flat on the ground and there's weights on top of it, but it still has this wobble to it, and it's really hard to stitch on because as soon as you pull the thread through, it just wobbles like crazy. I've seen so many other people use this and not have this issue, so I'm not really sure what the problem is with mine, but it definitely is making it tough to stitch on. However, I found a way that if I prop the end of the frame on my desk so that it's stationary and doesn't move, I can at least stitch that way. It's not ideal because I have to stitch in one position and it's like right up against the wall. It's not kind of the best, but it works. So, all that being said, I figured out a way to stitch on Lily of the Woods. That's what I'm getting at. So, here she is now. So this time I finished her pillow. That was the main thing. And then I also added some of these colors here that will be the flowers on the trees. I'll try to zoom in a little bit so you can see. There'll be the buds on the tree branches. And her pillow is completed. So the only thing that's left in the pillow are the beads. So that's why there's like little holes all throughout here. It's because that will be beading, which I will save for a little bit later. But I'm really loving this piece. On Saturday, I think it was, I put on my noise canceling headphones. I was listening to the new Casey Musgraves album, and I just got in the zone, and I stitched for like 2.5 hours or something just on the pillow. And it was so enjoyable. I really love the scroll frame, being able to see the full project as I'm stitching it. There's just something kind of fun and magical about it. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm happy with my progress. 38%. I can't believe I'm that far already, and I'm excited. So I think probably next I'll keep working on these branches here and the little flowers that go there, and then I'll also probably work on, there's a big blue fabric that drapes down here over the tree branch. I think I'll probably work on that next. And because these branches go up to the top, so this right here is the very top, I'm gonna have to move my scroll frame down a little bit to reach it, but I think I'm gonna do that. And then I'm just gonna start from the top and just keep working my way down through. And I think I'll be beading as I go. I don't think the beads will get crushed in when I roll up the fabric because it's not too tight. And so that's my plan of action. But it's really exciting. I still have a lot to go on this. I'm only 38% done, so I still have like 60% to go. There's a lot of her wing over here, and then her dress goes much further down. So I still have a long way to go, but I'm really, really enjoying this. Every time I pull it out, I'm so happy stitching on it, and it makes me just want to pick my next Mira and start my next one, which I've already got the kiss going that I need to pick up again. But I might put that on another scroll frame and see if that gives me some life to that one too. So anyway, that is Lily of the Woods from Mirabilia. Put that back. Okay, those are all the whips I have. So yeah, that was my progress this week. I felt like I got a lot done despite having a very, very busy weekend with the race and company and everything in town, but was really happy with it. So now on to a new start, which is kind of a surprise start. Not for me, but for you. So last week I had asked you if I should join the Lola Crow Deadly Aquarium Sal. Of course, everybody enabled me and said, yes, start the Sal. Well, in the back of my mind, I had already sort of wanted to start a different Sal before I saw Lola Crow's. So what did I decide to do? 2 Sals. How do I have time or room to do that? I don't know, but I started another Sal. So this one is from Sewing Starfish. I'll link her Etsy channel down below. And this is called the Slumber Party Sal. Now, Sewing Starfish has done a couple different Sals. There was a wizard one that she did recently, and there was a big wizard in the middle and then a bunch of motifs around it. And that kind of seems to be the style of her Sals, which I really sort of am drawn to for some reason. I'm not really sure why. It's not my typical thing that I would like to stitch or my typical style, but something about these patterns I just love. So the Slumber Party Sal, she announced it, and I was just drawn to the colors, drawn to the idea of like a nice cozy like teddy bear or tea, or I don't know what the motifs will be, but it just sounded fun to me. So I decided I would start it. So this is on 18 count black Aida, and I'm stitching with all the called for threads. The frame came out like a week or 2 ago, and once I got my fabric and threads, I started it. So my goal was to have, you've seen part of the frame that I showed earlier, but my goal was to have the bottom section of the frame completed by the time the first motif comes out, because then that will outline where all the motifs go. So then I won't have to worry about like, is everything lining up? Is it all correct? And then the top part of the frame, there's kind of designs and it's a slumber party at the top. That I can just work on as I want, either throughout the stitch along or, whenever I want to pick it up. So my goal was to work on the frame, the basic outline of the frame. So here is what I got done. So this might not look like much, but this frame is no joke. So there's like so many stitches here. I think, so total I completed 2,700 stitches in this whole big section here. 2,700. That's a lot of stitches. And maybe not the most enjoyable stitches, because you're just kind of going in a straight line here, and then a straight line here, and then a straight line here, and it just kind of gets to be a little monotonous. But had a goal in mind, and the goal was to finish the bottom border before the motif came out, so I am powering through. And as you can see, I actually made pretty good progress. So the only part I have left, there's 2 colors here that need to be connected to here and up to here. So I just have this corner, and then the whole bottom part of the frame will be done. Now up here, there is more that goes under this pink frame here along the edge. So I would like to get that done as well, because I'll probably be counting from the top, so on the motif, so just to make sure everything is lining up and correct, I want to do that as well. And then up here, the slumber party and the motifs, I'll work on kind of as I get the motifs along the way, but I think there'll be 2 motifs released each week for the mystery stitch along, and I think I'll be able to keep up with that, which is kind of exciting, especially now that I have the big part of the frame completed. So yeah, this is my first time stitching on Black Ada. I have a couple projects that are on Black Ada, but this is my first time actually stitching on it, and it's not as bad as I thought. I am using an Easy Guide ball tip needle, which I think was recommended by Hathaway Stitchers on their channel, so I got one to try it out. It does make finding the hole much easier, because the ball tip at the end just kind of glides right into the hole, so stitching it, that makes it easier. However, with the ball tip at the end, it's so hard to get your thread to close off your thread at the end underneath other threads. I've just been finding it really difficult to get that needle under my other threads. Anyway, that's a side note, but yeah, so this is the Slumber Party Sal. I'll keep bringing this out, and I think April 12th is the first release. So I'm well on my way to having a good start before that happens, and yeah, I'm really excited to have my first sewing starfish project going. I also wanted to point out, this is the cutest little needle minder I have ever seen. Look at this little pig. He is so cute. He's like laying flat with his like legs back. Look at his little butt. Oh my goodness, he's just so cute. He's kind of like a translucent pink. I just fell in love with him. I found him from an Etsy site. I think it's called Caffeinated Cat Crafters or something like that. I'll try to link the channel down below, but I wanted to just show this, and I thought because of the pink, it just goes well with this project. So he's on there. He's my little friend. He's been keeping me company through this big border, and I think this is actually the first time I've stitched a big border like this, and now I understand why everybody kind of likes to switch out and do a little bit of border and then a little bit of the motifs and then a little bit of the border, because when you're just stitching these long rows, it's not the most exciting, but the final product is good, and I do really like the frame, so I'm not complaining, but I'm complaining. So anyway, this is my new start. Now, I know you're thinking, okay, but what about Lola Crow? Are you still doing that? Yeah, I am. So like I said, I'll be placing an order with 123 Stitch here probably in the next day or two, and my goal is to buy all the threads for that. And then I will do a floss toss on the fabric that I showed just to make sure it's going to look okay. And she released a sneak peek of the Sal. I'll try to put a picture of that here if I can, but it's so cute. So if I wasn't going to do it before, I definitely am now. And so yes, I am going to do it. However, I'm going to say right off the bat that I probably will not keep up with it. I'm going to stitch it at my own pace, and if I finish it 5 years from now, I finish it 5 years from now. But I really like her projects and her designs, so I wanted to get on board with this one as well. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to do more than I think and kind of keep up with it more, but I'm just not holding myself accountable. With the Slumber Party Sal, I really would like to keep up with that since it's just 2 motifs a week. I think I can get that done, and especially since I have the frame basically in place. So those are my sort of Sal plans. Let's jump in to the rest of my plans then. So April is just around the corner, and that means that the WhipGo numbers were called. So I'm going to pop in my WhipGo chart here for you to look at. So the 2 numbers that were called were number 18 and number 21. That makes for a very fun April for me. So both of those are new starts, and number 18 is a piece that I bought from Tilton Crafts, and it's a picture of Beyonce. So I'm going to give this a go. It's a full coverage piece. It's really big, so it's going to take me a while, but I'm going to give it a go and try it. So I'm going to be stitching this on black Aida again, another black Aida piece. Seems to be the theme right now. But this will be a 25 count, and I'm going to be stitching it 1/1. My goal for WhipGo is to have 3,000 stitches in it. So that's what I'm going to hope to do in April, and at least that will give it a really decent size start, and you should see some progress. There's a lot of stitches in this piece. However, since I'm stitching it on black, I think there's a big portion of the background that I won't have to stitch. I'm starting in the center, or I'm going to start in the center and then work my way out to the edges. You'll see the piece here. I'll put up a picture of what it will look like when it's finished, but I think I'm going to try to just kind of go out from the center, and then once I reach a point where I'm hitting the darker background, I'm going to just stop and complete her and then see what it looks like without stitching the rest of it. I know I don't have to stitch the 310 because that obviously is black and I don't need to do that, hopefully. So there is a different color in there though that kind of adds a little shading around her instead of just black. So I may need to stitch that. I'm just not sure yet, but I'm going to see how it goes. I'm going to start in the center, and then I can always just add more if I need to. But that is my plan for the WhipGo call square number 18. And then the other WhipGo call, actually, let me just grab this. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't. I thought I was here. It wasn't. So the second WhipGo number was number 21, and that was my Santa Fisherman, which I'm sure everybody was wondering what that was. But that is the Prairie Schooler 1992 Santa, and he's a fisherman. Basically, he's going fishing, or he was fishing and caught some. So my goal for this is to completely finish it. I am stitching this as a gift, and I think the person that will be receiving this watches this video, so maybe they'll know it's them, but yeah, it will be for a gift, and I hopefully will have a finish this month. Now, I was looking at fabric, and I was trying to look at fabric from Stash. I came across this 18 count Western cloth that I had in my stash, and I think it will look okay on this. The only concern I have is a little bit of the white, whether or not it will show up clearly on here. I think it will. We'll have to see. It calls for ecru, but I might try to switch that out for blanc, or maybe even a sulky white. I've never used sulky white, but I think that it might be a little bit brighter. But I'm thinking of using this fabric. It's got a little bit of modeling in it. Not modeling, but little kind of specks in it, which I think is really cool. And I think it's a little stiffer, so if I'm going to make this into an ornament, I think that will work nicely. But if not, I think it'll still be a good fabric for it. So let me know what you think. I know it's a lot lighter than what's in the picture, but I think it'll still work. So this will be my first Prairie Schooler Santa, which I'm very excited for. I don't have any of the other ones, and I don't necessarily have any in mind that I will stitch, but the Fisherman just called to me when I saw it, and I was like, I need to stitch that as a present. So yeah, now WhipGo tells me I can. Okay, I think that's it for plans. I know I talked to you last time about trying to come up with a rotation. I'm still trying to figure it out. So in April, I am kind of slotting out certain days to work on certain projects. Winston, did you want to come say hi? Come here. Winston just woke up from his nap, so he wanted to say hi. Right? You want to say hi to everybody? Yeah, I know. Okay. So I'm still trying to figure out a rotation, and in April I'm going to try something out. I don't really have much to discuss about it because I'm just trying a bunch of different things, but I'm choosing one project to work on for 5 days in the month, and then another project to work on for 3 days. And then for the rest of the month, I'm filling in projects that I am currently working on, or things that I have goals for, like the Mermaid of the Season Sal or the Chihuahua piece, so that I can make progress on them as well. But I'm hoping that if I choose 2 focus pieces for the month and give one 5 days and one 3 days, that will at least keep them moving along quicker. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to give it a shot, and the worst thing that will happen is I don't like it and I don't stick with the plan and I find something else. But that's kind of, yeah, my plan for it now. Okay, and the last part is I've got a little bit of haul to share with you. So if you don't like haul, that's totally fine. You can bow out now. I've shared all the stitching I've done. But if you do enjoy haul and want to kind of see what all I've got going on, now's the time. So I wanted to start first with the fabric choice that I had for Gaia, the Earth Goddess. I showed it to you maybe 1 or 2 videos ago to see what everybody thought as if it would work or not. It was a 2-tone piece and the green was much higher on the fabric than I thought it would be. So some of you recommended reaching out to the dyer to see if there's anything they could do or if they were able to sort of replace it or help out at all with that. So I reached out to Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers and they honestly were very great customer service. And they basically explained to me why the piece I had looked different from the picture. And the picture, I guess, was an Aida or an even weave. So it took the dye differently than the linen does. And that's why the green appeared higher on mine. So they let me return the piece and sent me a new one with the percentage of the green that I wanted. So here is what it looks like now. So as you can see, the green does not come up quite as high, which I think will really work for Gaia. So I think she will be able to stand in this green section here, this lower section, and then I think she'll work all her way up here, and I think it'll be perfect. It'll be like grass at the bottom and then this sky color at the top. So thank you to the team at Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. I'm really happy with this result, this change, and yeah, we'll get started on Gaia eventually. I think I still need to buy the floss for her. I have all the beads and the fancy floss, but I need to get the DMC for her, and then I think that will be a May start, so stay tuned for that. But I wanted to just share the update on that fabric. So Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers were really great. Okay, then the last part of my haul is market haul. So I know everybody has shared their market haul, and you probably have seen these patterns a bunch of times, but I figured why not just share some of the patterns that I got. So I don't have any sort of particular plan of when I'm going to start these, but these are just ones that I thought were really cute and wanted to have in my collection. So the first one is Hester's Easter Jumper by Pansy Patch Quilts, designed by Lori Pengoli. I'll try not to glare. For some reason, this bunny in this dress, I just could not get enough. I love the colors of this. I really like the border. It's just a fun piece and so springy, but that dress, I had to have it. So super cute. Hester's Easter Jumper. The next one you've seen a million times. Everybody's starting it, I think, in April, maybe. I don't think I'll be ready to start it at that point, but it's by the Blue Flower, and it's In Praise of Pollinators. Just such a fun piece. I love all the different pollinators in the image here. I love this butterfly right here. These bees are super cute. So yeah, really fun. I think someone said this is a huge piece, which I didn't realize when I got it, but that'll be a big project. So eventually I'll get that started. The next one I thought was super fun. This is from Counting Puddles, and it's called Brew Crew. And I just thought this design was so neat, and I hadn't really seen anything like it before with the way they used the back stitching in the smoke here. So this is what it looks like. And if you can see here, there's like back stitching all the way up the smoke, and with these white kind of like, I don't know what these are called, backstitching stars, but it really gives it this like nice shine, and I just thought it was super cute. This little like green witch mixing the cauldron with the cat watching and the pumpkin. It's just very cute Halloween, and really liked it. So that'll be fun to pick up at some point. The next one I got is my first project from the Artsy Housewife. This is Abalonia's Apple Tree, and I know you've seen this a bunch too, but I thought this was super fun. I loved the apples Yeah, I just really love the piece. Even the border is really good now that I'm looking at it more. So cute. I really like the piece with the bear. I forget what that was called. There was like a bear, Geraldine's flowers maybe? There was a bear at the bottom and then like a flower pot at the top. That piece is incredible. So I think I might have to add that to my collection at some point too. But this is the one I was drawn to the most from the new Nashville releases. The next one is from Rebel Stitcher Designs, and this is Moonlight Garden. I think this is new from Market, although I'm not positive now, actually. Oh yeah, it does say Design 2024, so it is. And this is just a small piece, but look how fun this is. My favorite Halloween candy is candy corn, and I love the idea of this candy corn flower. I wish I could have one where it just grows candy corn, and then I can eat it all the time. But I thought this was super cute, and then the little pumpkin head watering it, just adorable. So had to have that one. Then the last piece that I ordered was my first Teresa Kogut piece, and this is Serenity, which I know you've also seen. I love these deer here. I'm excited for this to be sort of the first piece in this nature that I do. She's got a very specific design, and I've always been drawn to it, but for some reason this one, it just got me. So I bought it. I also like how the alphabet is kind of broken up into these little blocks. I think that's a nice kind of change from how we normally see it. So that's Serenity by Teresa Kogut. And I did order one other Teresa Kogut piece, but I guess it was sold out at Nashville Needle Market. So I ordered all of my things through Bestitch Me, and they'll be sending it once they get it in stock. So there might be one more coming from Teresa Kogut. But that was my market haul. So I think that's all I've got for you right now. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had something that you were stitching on while you're watching me. I hope you made a lot of progress. And yeah, just wanted to say, keep running if you're a runner. Always keep stitching, and be kind to whoever you meet on your journey. Bye for now, until the next stitch.